Okay, let's go to Islam. Somalians are Muslim, right?
Largely, yeah.
Yeah. What percentage of Somalis are Muslim? What percentage of Somalis are Muslim? I hate Muslim. Over. You don't often see this stat. Over 99% of Somalia's population is Muslim.
Wow.
With the majority being Sunni. If it ain't Sunni, it's Shiite. This makes Islam the state religion. Yes, thanks. And as a unifying force in the country. Thanks, Wikipedia. More than 99%. The only time I've heard a stat that high is condoms, where they have a 99% success rate. And then the only time I've ever seen 100 is they said, what percentage of Native Americans, this is in Canada, so it was First Nations, have a close relative with a severe alcohol problem? And the number was 100%. Only time I've ever heard 100. All right, so I think God is giving me the right to go to my notes and do Somalians, right?
Yeah.
We imported, for some bizarre reason, a zillion Somalians, one of the shittiest countries in Africa. I don't think we ever colonized it. Like they always go, you came here and wrecked our country. Well, Somalia, we never did shit there, and it sucks. Liberia was freed slaves. They started their own country with their own rules, their own constitution, with all the amazing education they got in America. It's a hole. And then the ones we colonized, like Haiti, where you killed all the people. Like they talk about how Haiti had to give all this money to France. Yeah, because they bought the country off of France. They stole it, actually, and murdered every single white person on the island in horrific, unimaginable ways, like ripping babies' heads off, taking out human skulls, white people's skulls, filling them with blood, and then drinking the blood out of their skulls. I'm not exaggerating. There's drawings of this. It's well documented. So yeah, if we build a beautiful island from nothing, I'm speaking as a Frenchman, if we build a beautiful island from nothing and you murder us all, you need to pay a fine. I mean, when Britain bought all those slaves to end slavery, they had to pay for the person who just spent all his money on that slave. And that debt was ended 7 years ago. No one ever talks about that. But they can't wait to go, Haiti had to spend money, give money to France. Yes, finish the sentence for stealing their country and murdering them all. Minor deed. Anyway, we imported a bunch of Somalians, and we imported two groups. One, we imported their elites, which wasn't too many, but Ilhan Omar was one of them. Her father was a brutal tyrant, dictator. Think of Idi Amin or Mugabe. And they fled Somali because the natives wanted vengeance. So she goes from incredibly powerful family in Somalia to boom, incredibly powerful person in the White House. That's the way it works. It's globalism.
Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
And hello, I am Gavin McInnes.
Together, we're Compound Censored.
And we'd like you to subscribe to our network that has more fantastic content you could shake a stick at. Use this promo code for a one-time super offer.
Do it. It's uncensored and oh so entertaining.
So that's, I don't know, 1%, 5% of what the Somalians we brought in. And they're not good. They're brutally corrupt. And then we brought in hordes and hordes of retards with an IQ that's literally below retard. So not a great number of groups. What's the matter with me? I'm having trouble speaking today. I'm not high. I was drinking quite a bit with the cops. Maybe that's it. Maybe there's a hangover in here somewhere. So anyway, this Somali thing is blowing up bigly. Let's just go back and see what Trump said. Now, I think one of the reasons Trump is so mad that they sent billions of dollars. Have you ever seen 2 billion? It's 2,000 million. It's a lot of zeros. It is 3,690 zeros. So when you, trust me, I know from personal experience, when you rob a Scotsman, they get fucking pissed. And that's why he's so mad right now about the Somalians, because they stole at least 2 billion from him.
Want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks. And we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other. And we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain.
Yes.
And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
That's great. A guy at the gym came up to me and goes, every time I get mad at Trump for, you know, spending too much money or not deporting enough, he pulls me back with shit like Ilhan Omar's garbage. Wow. He's right. I kind of feel vindicated. Haven't we been screaming this for a long fucking time? I've been the Islam guy since 9/11, and we're finally realizing. And it is kind of spooky that I said, I'm going to spin this wheel weird today, so if we end up on Islam, it's because God wants us there. Where did we end up, folks? And I didn't, you can talk about how it's weighted a certain way or some dumb shit like that. So yeah, 2 billion at least. And you know that money was just going in the wood chipper of the turd world. Like, it was not going to any job. It was just going to Rolexes and cars for the Ilhan Omar 1%. Omar is panicked because she is caught. President Trump is right again. USAID is a criminal organization. They have illegally transferred $2 billion from the U.S. Treasury to Somalia. Fucking bitch. Is that top right thing?
There's a video here.
It's a video? Yeah, let's see it.
It is really a sad day in America.
Really sad.
We are witnessing a constitutional crisis. We talked about Trump wanting to be a dictator on day one, and here we are. This is what the beginning of dictatorship looks like. When you gut the Constitution and you install yourself as the sole power.
Wait, stop.
That
Is this post 2 billion? This better be an old video.
I'm pretty sure this is old.
Because if you're talking like that after you get caught stealing 2 billion, you got some fucking nerve.
Yeah, this is old.
Okay.
how dictators are made.
Dictators.
What Trump and Elon and all of their cronies are trying to do is take away the constitutional power of Congress. We get to decide. We have the power of the purse. We get to decide where money is allocated, and it's the executive's power
it's allocated to
make
Somalia.
sure that that money gets to where it needs to get. When we talk about
Mogadishu, yeah.
civil servants
Warlords.
being let go, what we are talking about is not saving money.
No?
It's essentially saying they can get paid while they're home and their work doesn't get done on behalf of the American people. It is us,
I didn't understand that.
taxpayers, who are being ripped off. It is us, taxpayers, who are not getting the resources that we paid into.
Agreed.
I would hate to get ripped
So
off.
I
That would be
ask
terrible.
the American people, do you want people at home and getting a paycheck and not providing services to you? The answer is no. Do you want the executive making the only decisions in
All right,
this
shut up,
country?
bitch. That sounds like semantics there. Was there another picture after that?
No, just background stuff like that.
So that was an old video, and it's an interesting juxtaposition when she talks about assholes ripping us off. You mean like you? And here she is explaining everything, just so you know. It's an inevitable result of the bureaucracy.
On why the fraud got so out of control in Minnesota?
Fraud.
I think what happened is that, you know, when you have these kind of new programs that are designed to help people, you're oftentimes relying on third parties to be able to facilitate. And I just think that a lot of the COVID programs that were set up, they were set up so quickly that a lot of the guardrails did not get created.
Can you share?
Oh, that is a great explanation for a missing $280. And I would happily take that. It's an inevitability of moving money around and, you know, you're going to get some asshole intern in there who steals petty cash. $2 billion. What countries have a GDP? What countries have a total GDP of $2 billion?
I found this on the web.
My Siri is blowing chunks these days.
Yeah, a lot of the AI is always wrong when you ask it questions.
Several countries had a total GDP of approximately $2 billion, including Russia, Canada, Italy, Italy with their car industry and their tourism. And then, of course, there's countries with way less, like Brazil and at that tiny little island called Australia. They stole Australia. I'm going to put that as the title. They stole Australia. And Ilhan Omar's remarks, well, you're moving shit around and things. Australia fell through the cracks. Canada fell through the cracks. Oops, we lost Italy. What? No. Cancel.
I will not then.
Jesus Christ, did I call 911?
What?
Oh, I said Siri's fucked up. It sucks. And I said it on a public thing, so I threatened Siri. And she's like, oh, okay, I'll send the police then. No, I won't say anything bad about you ever again.
Are you sorry?
I'm so sorry. You know what I was thinking about the other day? America's too big.
It is very big.
Like that's 345, I think we're up to. And healthcare's, no one can figure it out. And I don't blame them. I couldn't. Canada and UK couldn't figure out their healthcare, and they're a tenth of the population with not really this close to the obesity problem and not really close to the illegal alien problem. So, but like take teachers, for example. Remember Richard Pryor in Superman 3? He figures out a way, and they also copied this for the Office Space. Banks have to round up pennies. You can't give someone a fraction of a cent, but that money accrues somewhere. So Richard Pryor's character figured out how to get it, and he ended up with like $60 million of tenths of cents. And that's what happens when you take 1 billion transactions and you shave a penny off each one. That's why the teachers' unions are so strong. They go, let's get dues off of every teacher. We'll all be a union. Okay, sounds good on paper. I don't want teachers to be abused and have to work 15-hour days. No. So the union becomes this amorphous blob. And it's growing and growing. And what's best for a union? Socialism. That's union culture. The more free market, the more freedom, the more teachers can get fired. So it becomes this amorphous blob, like the mafia almost, and then it has to protect its students. It's a parasite, right? Not its students, its teachers. Fuck the students. It has to protect its teachers because that's what it feeds off of. So a parasite wants to keep you alive. It's just like this fucking awesome show, Pluribus, that I cannot recommend enough. It keeps them alive. Like in Pluribus, she realizes they can't lie, so she drugs one of them to tell her how to reverse this giant fucking plague, and they feel threatened, so they all leave her because they want what's in their best interest. That's what these gigantic amorphous mafia blobs do. So, okay, this is all, you could have simulated this on a computer. So all the teachers pay their shaving of a cent, which it's quite a bit. And that makes this insanely powerful lobby. The teachers' lobby funds the right and the left more than anyone, more than tobacco, anyone, oil, big tech, anything. So they're incredibly powerful. And then the reason that they survive is this preponderance of socialism. So what do they train their drone zombies to do? Teach your children socialism. That way they'll be pro-union and they won't threaten this giant fucking thing. It's not good. It's almost like a problem with capitalism where it can lead to socialism. You know, you get how many teachers are there? How many teachers are there in America?
Here's an answer from Wikipedia.
For about 5 million. You get 5 million people giving you money. They give you $1, you got 5 million bucks. That's pretty good. And then you look at charter schools where they can get fired. They don't have a powerful union. And fucking all the students thrive. Oh, black people are dumb, are they? Check out charter schools in Harlem. They're destroying white public schools.
Nothing pisses off people in like liberal areas more than charter schools. It's up there with Trump. They get so pissed off about charter schools. It's bizarre.
It's so weird. Like, what happens at charter schools? It's just an orgy? Like you go to a public school in East New York, it's everything they say about charter schools. Like, it's unimaginable chaos. Fighting. You know, talk to anyone who teaches in the South Bronx or East New York or shitty parts of Harlem and Brooklyn that aren't charter schools. There's 2 people in the front row that are listening. The rest are just like looking at magazines, Instagram. The second row, they're talking like they're at a cafe. They're talking like you and I are talking right now. The third row is guys trying out fight moves. Yeah, I'd block it, and then I'd get you like that. No, I would pull back, and then I would grab your nuts, and then I'd punch you in the face. And actually touching each other. Like, no, that's when I would block it. That's the public school classroom. 54% of high school students in New York cannot read. You've seen the streeter questions. Name one country that starts with the letter E. Estonia, England. They're in England when he's asking this, by the way. England's just as bad with their socialism. Anyway, sorry, I'm off at a crazy tangent here. So all this shit goes down. $2 billion. Australia fell through the cracks. And the mayor, that fucking annoying douche who dances with his little espadrilles on, his little fucking pedal pusher pants, he's all in on the Somali side. I mean, Tim Walz is also responsible for this, the governor. He happily changed their flag from a cool state flag that looks like every other state flag to the Somali flag. The Minnesota state flag and the Somali flag are indistinguishable. Like, these cucks just cannot wait to get steamrolled.
Folks that are masked, that they're not sure if they're law enforcement.
I like his
they may be
jacket.
kidnapping people. Like, we have had those reports. I want to be clear to the community. The community should know that if you see something like that, that is legitimate, that you don't know if someone is law enforcement, you should call 911. And you should provide as much information as possible.
I love these faces in the
let's
background.
not forget, we very recently had tragedy in this state by someone who was purporting to be law enforcement. So please, let's be clear. That's something everyone should report.
Yeah, that's a
and that
real
we will
issue.
Immediately respond to, and we will document whether it's somebody's not sure if there's a kidnapping happening, somebody's not sure if that there's law enforcement present or not, and that's something else. That's additional policy requirements that we are implementing. That we will document and
Like,
report,
this guy's a cop. How many
these types
times
of
have
things
cops,
anytime that we-
stop. How many times have cops been shot or attacked by someone saying, I didn't know he was a cop? It's a lie. It happens once a year. So to say we will not be working with ICE here in Minneapolis, where there's tons of illegal Somalis, including Ilhan Omar's brother, who she married, we will not be working with them on the off chance they're actually a secret kidnapping cabal. Yeah. Imagine being stupid enough to fall for this shit.
Hear it, and reminding our officers of their duty to intervene. So if there is anything that is, a violation of someone's human rights or civil rights, excessive force or anything like that, they absolutely have a duty to intervene as police officers.
They're calling this the Somali meltdown. Let's hear from the fucking douchebag mayor over there. This is also the guy. Oh no, this is the mayor's pal. He's a Somalian who's been here for like 40 years and he still has a thick accent. Remember that mayor, forget his name.
Frey?
What's it?
Frey.
What?
James Frey or something?
Frey.
Yeah.
Frey.
Frey.
He was the one who was fucking blubbering on George Floyd's golden casket. Like he was getting butt fucked. His back was bouncing up and down. All right, let's hear from Mr. V.
My name is Jamal Osman. I am the council member.
Just stop.
Of Ward.
Is there a black person in the world that can just wear a suit and a tie, please? Why do you always got to think outside the box? Why do you always have to wear a collarless shirt or like a fucking double-breasted suit with 7 pockets? Like, can you just be normal just for once, like at a press conference, please?
6, someone who represents the largest East African community in Minneapolis. I'm proud to say I'm a Somali American. This country welcomed me and my family 26 years ago.
26 years ago.
It has provided me a life that I did not have in Somalia. We came here and we are thankful to be here. I've been educated here, got the opportunity to serve my community, to be a council member. I know many families are fearful tonight. They are. But I want you to know that City of Minneapolis stand behind you as the leaders, both mayors and the chief and everyone that stand behind you.
That stand
are
behind
here to
you.
stand with you. Our community has lived through fear in the past. And we're not going to let us divide that.
We're not going to let us
We're gonna
divide
stay
that.
Informed, we're going to stay safe, and we're going to support each other. We'll
Beautiful.
continue to working our partners on the ground so residents know their rights. They know where to turn for help. And we know that Minneapolis will not abandon. One of the
We know Minneapolis
thing
will
I do
not
wanna
abandon.
say, and
Abandon who?
obviously Everyone knows that our president is racist, xenophobic, Islamophobic, and we are going to fight that. America has a history of fighting and stopping those kind of individuals.
Actually, America has a history of healthy xenophobia. Xenophobia is fear of other cultures. Yes, sold.
Who continue to divide people and divide communities. Many Somalis that live in this community
That live in this community
are working at your groceries, working at your hospitals, delivering your babies,
working
their doctors.
for your groceries.
They are very successful individuals.
Hey, you!
Now,
Come over
I would
here.
like
Get
to
me back
switch
in the fridge.
Into Somalia
I'm going
to speak to
bad.
my community.
Hey, get these empty
Assalamu
eggshells
alaikum.
out of my cotton.
walaalayaal waxaan la hadlayaa community-ga magaalada Minneapolis.
Help! I'm wilting.
Anigoo ah Jamaal Cusmaan. Waxaan inii sheegayaa City Minneapolis garabkiina ay taagan tahay.
Oh, great. Then we got to do it in the
Community
fucking
getting
mud
attacked.
language. And yeah, I want to blame white people for a lot of this. There's the mayor. Yes, I know he's Jewish. There was O'Hara, the Irish fucking police chief that couldn't wait to kiss Somali ass. And then we have this judge, Sarah West, who is behind letting these fuckers free. You may want to kill me for a second so we can see Sarah West.
I may want to kill you more than just for a second.
Action was the same as most Minnesotans. I was outraged. We've been dealing with this fraud for a long time. She acknowledges in her order that fraud was rampant in this case, and it was clearly out of control. She couldn't believe the level to which fraud was allowed to be able to be perpetrated. And then it comes to bear that she lets him off because she felt as though somebody else should have been to blame that wasn't the owner of the company. Judicial reform is needed in Minnesota. That is definitely true. But the judge absolutely was acting outside of her
purview
authority to do this. It's being already brought to the Minnesota Court of Appeals. So the Attorney General's office is appealing it. And I'm sure they're going to win on appeal. I'm not an attorney, but the precedent that she used was outrageous. And she applied it far wider than the law actually allows. At one point, she argued it because in many of the instances of fraud where a check was written, the defendant claims to have been in Bemidji, which is far, far northern Minnesota. hundreds of, or at least 100 miles away from where the fraud was physically taking place, as if computers don't exist or whatever. And she claims that because he was so far detached from the business, he didn't credibly know that the fraud was happening, which is of course insane, right? He cashed the $1 million worth of checks within like a 9-month period to his bank account. And to her answer to that is that a business owner is rightfully, or it is normal for a business owner to expect to make good money off of their investment and in their business. And then 2 lines later makes the case that he was really only the owner on paper and therefore wasn't part of the day-to-day fraud, which is an insane thing to say. I wish I could set up a business tomorrow, make $1 million in 9 months or whatever the time frame was.
No, millions,
and then
plural.
Have no accountability and actually have a district court judge come to my aid to make sure that I couldn't be held accountable for my fraud. That's insane. Judicial reform is necessary in Minnesota. These activist judges, and you hear a ton of people making the accusation that she's on the take or that she was threatened. And I fear
That's the
the
best
reality
case scenario.
is much worse, which is that this judge, this wasn't an extreme situation. This is just how she operates. I think that she is a true extremist, that her ideology is running her courtroom and damaging our justice system. People in Minnesota are questioning whether or not the judicial system can be trusted. And with judges like this, I see why.
We have to embarrass these judges. Never hurt these judges, never threaten these judges. Don't go to these judges' homes. I'm not advocating for that, obviously. But they need to be embarrassed. There has to be some accountability here. They're ruining this country, and it's women in the workforce predominantly. Stefan Molyneux had a great quote the other day where he said, men live for meritocracy, and it's genetic. We're going hunting. You're the best at spearing a woolly mammoth. Here's the best spear. We're behind you, buddy. And we'll try to throw our stupid spears in when you, the top hunter of the group, gets it. If we don't do it that way and they give it to fucking George Costanza, then we don't get any woolly mammoths and we're fucked.
Aren't you embarrassed?
Conversely, women, they get the food that we bring home and they have to give it to the weakest, especially at a young age, because they want him to live. So they give the money to the money. They give the meat to the runt in the family. As you get older, you can give it to the prodigal son because you want him to become the top hunter. But a woman's initial instincts are to help the weak. That's why they make shit judges, because they see some Somalian retard, literally, and they explain away him stealing tens of millions of dollars.
I am beyond angry.
All right.
So if you enjoyed that clip,
then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.